Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. America. This is Corporal Tim Thornton from the Military Exchange Talk Show. Did you wake up today and say, I'm not living in the America that I grew up in? A 3% tax on tea eventually led to the American Revolution. Now you pay up to 70% of your earnings to a de facto corporate government. You are groped at the airport, surveilled on the street, spied upon in your own home, fed propaganda by the media, lied to by your representatives. Have your rights eroded, your currency devalued, and are we on the verge of an overt police state? Is this a WTF moment, and you're asking yourself, what happened to the home of the brave and the land of the free? Well, at the Military Exchange Talk Show, we address these issues and more. Current events, military topics, veteran right issues, and WTF moments. Talk Show, and I'm your host, Corporal Tim Thornton, and I am here with my co-host, Miss Molly Mills. I don't know why that caught me off guard. Miss Molly Mills, who is now that Army fiancé.
Yes, thank you for having me once again. I'm excited to be back.
Well, we're glad to have you back, and I know you have a subject. Well, let's do the nice thing here. You're now engaged.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit.
All right. Don't worry, it's nothing crazy. Like, he came home and proposed.
He's not pregnant, right?
No, he's not pregnant.
Okay.
We made sure that, He sent me a ring, a garnet ring, during Christmas time. And I was like, well, is this an engagement ring?
Is that like a garnet? Is that a name of a ring? Like the quality of it? Or does it mean something?
My birthstone.
What's the garnet part?
The stone.
Oh, that stone.
Yes.
Can you get onto that? Zero in?
It's
For everybody
red.
at home, we do a video, so it's on the Military Exchange Talk Show on YouTube. We're zeroing in on Molly's garnet ring. Now I know that that's the garnet stone.
But he sent me that ring. We've been talking about getting married over the summer when he comes home for a while, and I think that kind of put it into a more realistic perspective that, well, now he made a move, we're going to do it. And we just recently told his family, and we're starting to plan the wedding, so I'm very, very excited.
Very nice. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
So do you want to talk about what we got here? Dog tag chasers. Now, I know what we have chasers in the military police where you chase after bad guys that go AWOL from the military. It's not that kind of chaser. So what is a dog tag chaser?
Well, this is one of my favorite subjects, Tim. Dog tag chaser is basically someone who's trying to befriend someone else who's in a position of law enforcement or military power, and they're doing it just for their status. So say they only date military or law enforcement personnel, and you can start to see it in patterns. They use their status for themselves, as in, we got a promotion. We've been in the military for this many years.
No. Well, but that's not like a team thing? Go team?
No, you can tell because they say, well, we've been in the Army for 5 years, and we just got promoted. If I was talking about my fiancé to someone else, I'd say, I'm so proud of him. He just got a new promotion. He's worked so hard for this. You kind of put the spotlight more on them. There are times for teamwork, but not all the time.
I've heard things like that. You see stuff like the hardest job in the military is, the military wife. The truth is, guys look at that are definitely in, say, a hard MOS, and they're deployed all the time, and they go, I'm pretty sure I left her on a nice base with base housing, with a BAQ pay. Not sure exactly how that's the hardest thing. I know it's lonely, but then it's only as lonely as you want to make it by being involved like we talked last time, being that person that goes around and talks to other wives and keeps everybody motivated, and bowling or something. So you have a question. Let's see, what do they do it? Or no, why do they do it then? As in, why are they dog chasers? Why? Yeah,
Dog tag chasers.
that's it.
Most of it is just because they sense a lack of power in their lives, and I think most of it comes from they're too lazy to achieve that position of power themselves. They're kind of taking someone else's status for their own. And like you just said about the military spouse is the hardest job in the military, I have that bumper sticker from the store. I believe that's very true in some cases.
Oh, it's definitely when it, like, say, matters of the heart,
Yes.
or the house, the military wife, and a lot of times can be, like, for instance, when you get married and you're going to go to Germany, for that little while there, let's say you get there and then all of a sudden 3 weeks later he's deployed someplace, you're pretty much all alone. You can knock on doors and be friendly. Hopefully someone will befriend you, with a basket, and they'll take you under their wing and show you around and all that stuff. But if they don't, now that's a hard job. You got to admit, that's hard to be there, and he's deployed from there. So now you're overseas, or you're at some base in some states you've never been, you don't have any family. Now it's hard. Now that sticker does mean what it says. That is hard. It would be hard for anybody. I don't, guy or girl.
But here's the difference between how a chaser would deal with that and how just a regular spouse would deal. Say, I've taken that into consideration. I'm going to move to Germany with James. I know that there is a chance he's going to be deployed. But it's all in how you deal with it. If a chaser was in this position, you'd see that they aren't doing anything. They're taking all of the, I don't know how to say it. They're feeling sorry for themselves. They're feeling sad, but just for themselves. They're not trying to push through it. They're not trying to, I'm going to get a job. I'm going to go make friends. I'll do this, and I'm fine while he's gone. That is the real military spouse. She is going to be just fine on her own, but even better when he's back.
As they say, it's all what you make it. You could go there and outgrow your clothes and wear sweatpants, waddling over to the PX every day, because we all know that spouse is out there who wears sweats, especially for some reason because she's a military wife. And that's it. Life just kind of, you're there, you're home. Hopefully you're raising some kids, doing something, for the family. But a lot of them, the best thing to do is to go to school, get an education, get a job, double up on that income, help the guy out when he comes home, help him out when he's overseas, again, be part of the command. That's the good thing. Or you could stay in your apartment, off base, and talk on Facebook and say, oh, woe is me, and make it all about yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah, you don't want to be a dog tag chaser. By the way, not what I thought you were going to call it.
Why?
I thought a dog tag chaser is the girls who chase after you when you get out of basic, and then they kind of hop-she-da, and then they steal your dog tags. And then guys are always in here going, I lost my dog tags. See, the major knows what I'm talking about. He's over there smiling. There's two things that dog tag chasers steal from you. They steal your dog tags and your favorite shirt. And then they all got to come back here and go, oh, I lost my favorite shirt, and could you make me a new set of dog tags? And I always torture them. Where'd your old set go? Well, they don't want to say. I even do it to, like, the World War II guys. They come in. Oh, I lost my dog tag. Can you make me a set? Really? How'd you lose them? You know what I said once? I got to tell you this. I had a guy and his wife, sweetest little couple, come in. They gave me a silk bathrobe made out of parachute white silk material, and then embroidered on it something like Susie in different colors. It was beautiful. It had a little robe. I looked at his wife. I said, excuse me, but I'm curious. He obviously made this in World War II Why would you want him to get rid of it? She goes, I'm not Susie.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah. How's my shoe taste? Hello, I'm Corporal Tim Thornton, the owner of the Military Exchange in Canandaigua, New York. Over the past 20 years, I have personally searched out vintage clothing, uniforms, antiques. I like to collect all things military. I am just now willing to let go parts of my collection. We have a line of hand-picked vintage collectibles, World War I to present day. Vintage is a great way to give yourself a unique look. Ladies and gentlemen, add a little vintage to your wardrobe. What I like about vintage is the quality of material. Cotton, wool, leather, all at its very best. Different texture, design, and old school patterns that fit the way they should fit on a man or woman. The Military Exchange is your home for vintage clothing and collectibles. For your viewing pleasure, please go to my website, ironmikesmx.com, and see our video and pictures of vintage collectibles. What else would you like to end up with the dog tag chasing thing? Or is that all of it?
It's just kind of like, how do you spot them, and why do I personally not like them? How do you spot them? Like I said, they have a different attitude towards the military, towards their spouse, and they give you kind of a different story than what everyone else gives. You know, it's poor me. My husband's in the military. I have to be home all alone. Wah, you know. While a regular person will be well, yeah, he left. He left me with 3 kids, a dog, a cat, and a ferret, and I'm also kind of broke, but I'm dealing with it just fine, and I don't really need him around too much. But when he comes back, everything will fall into place again. We'll be in love like nothing ever happened. See what I mean?
I see what you mean.
And why do I not like them? I personally am not for one. I don't like people who use other people. I'm sure there's plenty of other people out there, but if you're using someone else to get that power or to get that status, you don't deserve any of it. You need to work for these kind of things in life. I definitely think law enforcement, military, you cannot cheat your way up that ladder. And that's what I think they're trying to do.
Yep, definitely not a. You know, everybody wants. This is what I always thought my wife would be excellent at if I was still in the service. A wife that compliments you, and I don't mean like, Tim, you're good looking, because she does tell me that, or Tim, what a great guy you are, because she tells me that all the time too. Not really, but what a good wife that compliments you is one that is like salt and pepper, you know. So they add to, like, say the major gives you a job to do. Well, you know, you could be struggling doing it yourself, or your wife jumps in and helps you, or you go to a party and she's wearing a nice dress and she's polite and understands military culture and emphasizes the conversation so that it's beneficial to everybody. She's complimenting you. Salt and pepper. They compliment each other. Not, like actually happened to me once. I had it before I met my wife. I don't even know if I could tell the story. It's so terrible.
Do it.
I sat at a table full of all my peers. My lawyer, who's a Marine, a judge that's a Marine, a general. Everybody was at this Marine Corps ball birthday party. I personally bought most of the tickets for everybody at the table. So, of course, I needed a date. So I found an old high school girlfriend. You know, I had her sit down, and I remember the lawyer's wife said to the girl, I have to come up with a different name.
Miranda.
Ironically, it did start with an M. And she said, so what do you think of Tim's business? She waited till then to stab her steak and put the food in her mouth and said, well, yep, Tim, he knows what he's doing. He's pretty smart. I'm going to go out for a smoke. Now, do you think that furthered my career?
No.
Or these people looking at me like maybe that's somebody we'd want to bring into our corporation or do business with? No. And I could not have died more that night as the time went on. So that's not a wife that compliments you. That's what a guy needs. A wife that compliments him with the military culture and the lifestyle.
Yeah, you want to have that woman who's going to look at him with a sparkle in her eye and be able to proudly say that she's his spouse or that she loves him. She's not going to say, we did this and this and this. She's going to say, I am so proud of him. He has come so far, and I couldn't be more honored to be his wife.
There you go. But I think my current wife would have been good with me in the military. She always pitches in. If not 60-40 in my house.
But
She's
I feel
60.
like you two are more like chili powder and salt, not chili, pepper and salt.
Oh, we're like fire and gunpowder. But it works.
All right.
Okay, Molly, thank you very much for coming out and seeing us today.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure. Shake my hand on video. See it? In case you ever run for office. I got that picture. Okay, thanks, folks. Don't forget, check this out at the video part at the Military Exchange Talk Show on YouTube. And thanks again, Miss Molly.
Thank you.
Honey, how many times do I have to move your old army bag? It's taking up too much room in the closet.
It's a duffel bag. It's full of my old uniforms.
And are you going to wear them again?
Yeah, maybe. Someday.
Uh-huh. And what size do you wear now?
Whatever.
Honey, why don't you take them to Military Mike's? You're certainly there enough.
It's Iron Mike's, and at least he doesn't make comments about my weight.
Bring your old military gear down to Iron Mike's Military Exchange. They'll turn your old uniforms, gear, and military collectibles into cash. So if you drug it back from overseas and it doesn't fit your motif, we want it. Iron Mike's wants your Class A's, Alphas, Hammies, Fatigues, Utilities, Digis. We want your Deuce gear, Molly gear, Alice gear, Web gear. Bring in your Poly Pro, new boots, used boots. Heck, if it's green, camouflaged, or digital, we want it. Give it a good home. Used pre-enjoyed. Iron Mike's has a bin for it. Iron Mike's buys, sells, and trades. Iron Mike's Military Exchange, located in Canandaigua, New York. Check out all their newly acquired items at militaryexchange.co.
Miss Molly, your website?
Yes, you can find me at thatarmygirlfriend.blogspot.com.
There you go. Thank you.